Stundown says, just curious, how do you react if your ex reaches out casually? Casually? What do you mean? Like, reaches out casually? Well, you can see I'm in a goofy mood, possibly. But you know, as serious as you should be in life, you don't have to be too serious all the time. So that's why, I guess. Okay. How you react if your ex reaches out casually, and how do you have such immense knowledge about dating, sir? Who says I do? Haha. Were you a player when young? Now, about the first part of your question, what if your ex reaches out casually? Who cares? It's an ex. You have tried your best to make it work. You guys, obviously, before it broke down, you tried, you compromised, you tried to understand, communicate, and it didn't work. And then it broke up and it became ex. Now, you have to see, when the ex is reaching out, what has changed? Have you changed? Has she changed? What is this reaching out for? Is she lonely? Or is she able to understand you better and help you understand her better? What has changed? So you can maybe explore it and directly say, you seem to be reaching out to me and want to reconnect. Is that something that you would like to talk about? Or is it something because you just want to say hello? And if she says, yeah, I like to talk about it, then you can meet and see what's going on and see if anything has changed, if you guys are more willing to be compromising and, you know, becoming, creating a unified or a new order, a common order between you two, and maybe reestablish connection. Or you will see, no, it's just because she's lonely, or, you know, you feel like you haven't found anyone yet and you become impatient and you just want to go back to each other. That can happen too, which is not a good idea. There is a reason why they call it X. It means no longer X. So better to move on and forget about this reaching out stuff, because you already tried and didn't work. So why is it that suddenly after a while you guys feel lonely and you think it's going to work? No, it's again the hormones and the loneliness and all these fears and desires. And we've talked about why you kind of miss the ex, or the ex misses you, because all the steps necessary for the desire to be born is already recorded in your memory. And when you think of her or she thinks of you, all those files, and plus the emotional files of the steps necessary for desire to take place, also comes up to forefront of your mind. And then the emotions act up and makes you feel like all the steps necessary for desire to be born are now again refreshed and are there again right away now, like new. And therefore you kind of rekindles your desire for her or her desire for you. And you guys think that something has changed. No, nothing has changed. It's just the emotional memory files on the steps necessary for desire to be taking place, to be born, is just coming to forefront of your mind, and you're acting on that what was once the necessary steps for desire to be born. But it hasn't been redone freshly now. It's just a memory of it that you're now thinking it's been refreshed and you are acting on it. You feel like, oh, you want to meet her again, or she wants to meet you again. So that's why you would want to discuss it directly and then sit down and see if anything has changed or not. And if it has, then you go from there. If it hasn't, then you'll see it was just a flashback of the emotional files that was necessary for the steps to be taken for the desire to be born, and it has just come to the forefront of your mind, and it's not necessarily the fact that you really want to be together. is just a reaction to what naturally we react to, you know. It's kind of feel like if you sit and put your legs on top of the other one, you cross your legs, and you know how the doctors want to check your nervous system or reflexes, and they have this little rubber coated tipped hammer looking thing, and they hit it on your elbow, not elbow, on the knee, and then your knee jerks on upward. Now just imagine if you think about that when you have put you cross your legs, and you think about that experience when you're in the doctor's office and he or she is doing that, and your knee jerks, your leg comes up. When you think of that, you kind of feel like doing it again just to see how it felt, because the whole memory of it is there, and you can see exactly how it reacted to that action of the doctor. And the file is there, and you may actually want to see how it feels, and you may actually, without the doctor being there and hitting on your knee, you may actually kind of move your leg a little bit because you were thinking about it. Now it's kind of the same thing when you have all these emotional files that comes to your mind, but it's much stronger because now these are emotional files. It's not just a pictorial memory. When you think about the emotional files that's necessary for the desire to be born, and you think of them, it's like that you see the doctors hitting again, you kind of by default want to move your leg because you thought of it. Now you also are thinking about all those steps that was necessary for desire to be born, and you kind of feel like, I want to see her again. Like you kind of desire her because all those steps you were reminded of, and you're reacting to the emotions that all those files that came to forefront of your mind brings with them, and then make you kind of react to it. And that's why you feel like, oh, the desire is there, I want to see her. But it's not really. Nothing is refreshed, nothing is new. You're just reacting to the memory of when you had desire for her, when all those necessary steps were born and created at that past moment. Okay, I hope you understood what I'm trying to show you here. Stand down. Stand down. I don't know what kind of a screen name that is, but good job.